Introducing a hat in time for the Nintendo Switch. You can now play a hat in time at home or on the go. Coming soon.
Hey there, fools. Mizzah here, and I'm back with another video. And consider this video the follow-up video to my Ass Hats in Time video. Why support these ass hats in time? Yeah, fools, it's time for me to get back and talk about this again because, as you all know, look like we got a little reversal of fortune here. Turns out that a hat in time will be coming to the Nintendo Switch after all. Now, I don't want to start no nonsense because the game should have came from, Jump Street. It should have been a thing that was planned from Jump Street, and I just want to go back and explain why. Because I had fools trying to misrepresent and disrespect Mizzah on my opinions about that. So let me go back in time a little bit. As you all maybe remember that when A Hat in Time first hit Kickstarter, they had some stretch goals. And one of those stretch goals was for Wii U. That's right. Remember the Wii U? I know a lot of people want to forget about it. But yeah, they had stretch goals for the Wii U for the game. And, Nintendo fans jumped in. They were very excited at the time. Obviously, there weren't a lot of games coming to the Wii U. So Nintendo fans jumped on the chance of, making a game happen that looked really cool for the Wii U. And obviously, the game harkened back to the yesteryears of Nintendo platformers on the N64. And there was no surprise about that. It wasn't, a surprise because they put that on the damn Kickstarter. They talked about how this was a harkening back to games like Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64 and even threw in Legend of Zelda in there. And if you served the Kickstarter and you got one of those bonuses, one of the bonuses was a Nintendo 64 looking case, Nintendo 64 looking box for the game, if you remember that. So it was no surprise or no misunderstandings of why Nintendo fans looked at this game and thought, this was something that was definitely coming to a Nintendo console because it was inspired, openly inspired by Nintendo games. So I don't understand why there would be some misunderstanding about that. But anyway, the game, it went through some development. It went through development, obviously, passed through the Wii U's life cycle, so there was no brainer that it wasn't coming to the Wii U. But obviously, just like Ukulele did, Ukulele went around and, it had Wii U fans. It had fans that were supporting it and wanted it to come to the Wii U. They said to those fans, hey, you know what? We're going to take that money, we're going to take your purchase, basically, and move it on over to the new Nintendo console. We're moving it over to the Switch. And that was a really cool thing that they did. So why couldn't the Hat in Time people do that? Obviously, Nintendo fans supported this game. Why couldn't you say, all right, we ain't bringing it out for Wii U, but we're going to bring it over to the Switch. We're going to bring it over to the next console. It wouldn't hurt them none to say that. We obviously would have still had to wait. I understand all the difficulties and ramifications for a company that is a small company. They don't know at the time what they're going to be able to do and whatnot. But this is Kickstarter. First of all, you promised a lot of shit you ain't did yet. So I don't understand why it would have been a big stretch to have a Nintendo version or some kind of promise that we're gonna bring this game to a console that you wanted, you Nintendo fans who supported the game wanted it on. So I didn't think that was too crazy. And obviously, whoever was running the Twitter was a very sensitive bitch, I should say. That's all I could call him. He was very sensitive. People get hurled all kinds of insults and things at companies every day. And you got to be able to understand, you got to be able to take that and walk away and be the bigger man and take the high ground. You can't sit there and argue with people on Twitter because you just make yourself look like an ass hat. Especially if you're a company who wants people to buy your games. Just you can't just think about the right now, think about the future. You may want people to buy your game in the future. And that's all I was saying, I wasn't saying that I didn't understand why the guy was upset and why he kept repeating himself about certain things, but I just thought his tone was way off. And he wasn't thinking about being a company serving the consumer. It seemed really childish. It was just really childish, and that's all I was saying about that. But anyway, the game is coming to Switch because, you can't ignore that Switch, that Switch money, because obviously a lot of indie games are doing really well on the Switch at this point, and you just can't run away from that money, And that's why I was saying, don't burn your bridges before you cross them, you know, because you might end up crossing them. And obviously, the Nintendo Switch did so well. You got all these companies like boasting about how, especially indie companies, boasting about how the Nintendo version, the Switch version of their game sold like twice as much as all the other versions combined. And it's just, you know, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy to see that, and it's really cool to see that, obviously. But, you know, that's why you don't act like an ass on Twitter, because you never know what might happen. So obviously the game is coming to Nintendo Switch. I'm not gonna buy it, like I said before. These guys are trying to act like this never happened, and you know, for some of them it didn't happen. You know, maybe a lot of these people who work for the company didn't want them to be represented like that. They just had the wrong person running the Twitter. He was very childish, and you know, the other company, the other people in the company have to suffer for that. So I'm not telling you fools not to buy it. It looks like a great game. I've heard from many people that it's a really good game, and it just sucks for me because I have to take a principled stance on this. I just don't feel right buying a game when the company represented themselves the way they represented themselves. But if you want to buy the game, go ahead. I have no qualms about you doing that. I'm not going to tell people what to buy, what they shouldn't buy, because that's silly nonsense. I ain't going to do that. But for me, it's a pass. But hey, whatever. Maybe I'll pick it up when it's used. I can, maybe if it comes physical and it comes used, then I'll buy it, because I don't want them to get a dime from me, you know. Let somebody else pay for it. You know, who didn't care. I'll get it from their purchase. So if it ever comes physical and you know, I can buy it used, even if it's $1 cheaper, that's what I would rather do than to buy the game. So that's just how I feel about it. I just, you know, it's funny though. I'm gonna laugh about it because it is a funny situation. It's a funny teachable moment on why you don't talk smack to gamers about anything and talk about what you ain't gonna do. You know, something similar happened to what's his name, Cliff Bleszinski, when he was trying to push his game out there, and he was talking smack about Xbox fans and you know, how they were salty because the game wasn't coming to Xbox. And you know what, the game came out and it fucking bombed. It just bombed. So maybe that was karma, maybe just because the market was saturated with those types of games, but maybe it was just damn karma. You know, maybe the Xbox fans would have been happy to support you if you supported them the way they supported you back in the day. So it is what it is. So it's, you know, these things happen, and like I said, I'm not holding any grudges or anything like that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling anybody not to buy the game. If you want the game, buy the damn game. You know what I'm saying? Because it does look like a really good game. It looks like a really good game, and it really hurts me to have to pass on it. But like I said, if it comes out used at some point, that's where I'll pick it up. So anyway, that's what I got to say about this. Well, what are you guys thinking? Well, what you gonna buy the game yourself? That's cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you fools next time. And oh yeah, one more thing. Play Nintendo, fools!